Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bad Calls, Balls, and Brawls. Your host 305 Sports Babe, co-host Miami Lou.
Hello, guys.
And there's a lot of things going on right now, despite not having.
We always say that. There's always things going on.
Okay, but there
A lot
are
of stuff.
Okay, but like
Always.
there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot when there's Dolphin football season going on,
Right.
and like this is just like filler stuff, but it's not filler stuff because it's like because obviously our show is based around Dolphins football.
Mhm.
The majority of our viewers are that of NFL fans.
Of course.
So all this other, it's not fluff, but there's a lot of other things that are important, obviously, to us that are happening that we got to talk about. Russ Taylor is in the house just because his home opener today got rained out.
A lot of Major League Baseball games were rained out today and yesterday as well. So
Yes, no, he reached out to me and he was like, I'm bummed out. And then I was like, I don't even think it's raining because the Mets opener got rained out as well. And then as it got closer to game time, there was actually absolutely no rain in New York. And
I know,
Russ
yeah,
just confirmed not a drop of rain in Philly as of now.
and in Philly too. Philly, there was no rain as well. I saw a couple buddies of mine also put out pics that it was completely sunny outside the stadium. So
Yeah.
outside the ballpark, I should say. But yeah, that sucks when they call a game prematurely and they could have gotten it in. So
Mark in the house, what's up? What's up? And
What's
the
going on,
Orioles.
Mark?
Yeah, so the Orioles got rained out, the Mets, the Phillies, Boston had their game. I mean, there's just a lot of
Yeah, and I know Russ is obviously excited because it's not only opening day in Philadelphia, but they were supposed to be, and they'll be doing it tomorrow, so not a big deal. But they will be raising that NL championship banner. So that's always a big deal, right? When you can go to an opening day and see a banner. We're going to talk about that with some banners coming up next year in South Florida. But Russ, we hope you enjoy that tomorrow. It's been a while since the Phillies have raised that kind of a banner. I'm sorry they couldn't close the whole deal, but hey, a lot of optimism coming up this year ahead.
Talking up in a while. We haven't seen our friend Chef Jew in a while.
Chef Jew,
Chef
what's going
Jew,
on?
you know, big Dolphins fan. Now he's a married man. We don't see him in the off season. So Chef Jew in the house. Mark, opening day in San Francisco tomorrow. They'll have theirs.
That is, I've mentioned in the past, Mark, that is in my top three. I think it's my second favorite. Yeah, it's Wrigley 1, Oracle Park, I believe it's called now, 2, and Petco Park out in San Diego, 3. So I love that park. And yeah, enjoy that opening day out there on the West Coast.
Russ is already talking a little smack, but no opener means that the 76 were able to easy part. Oh, I thought you meant an easy game for this. I can't assume. I can't assume you're smack talking. For those who don't know, obviously we're going to talk about it later, but the Heat are playing the 76ers. 76ers already in the playoffs. Congratulations for them. The Heat, we'll talk about it.
They're edging towards the finish line here. But Russ is also mentioning that the fact that with the Phillies not playing today.
Yeah, the parking, because they share the same parking lot.
Oh, my goodness. Not just them. They share all three. So the Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, and the Eagles.
Eagles, Flyers, Sixers. You got it right. And
the Phillies. Yeah, Phillies, they all play in the same venue or the same area space. And then they also have the Xfinity Live area there that gets just totally congested on game days for either one of them.
Phillies and
much less when there are multiple games going on at once, which I guess it could be a basketball, football, and baseball game going on at the same time.
Chef Jew dropping the Florida Marlins. Yes, we're going to talk about it. I'm telling you, those throwbacks. Oh, my goodness.
They are so fun.
Just amazing. So, yes, the Florida Marlins, even though Miami Marlins, definitely Florida Marlins. Hey, strangers. Kirk in the house. Definitely want to hear about your Jersey trip. Red Sox won today. Woo, woo.
Kirk, I saw, was out having lunch somewhere off of St. John River, I want to say. And it looked incredible he was eating out there. So
alligator. Probably an alligator out there.
But I'm glad he was having a good time and had looked like a fantastic lunch. So
Mark wants to know, Ashley, you're going to get heated again. Absolutely, because, oh, man.
For those of you who missed last week's show.
Man.
I invite you to go back and check it out. Ashley was a little bit over the top. She was, feeling a certain kind of way. And she wasn't holding back. I got this water bottle to douse her down a little bit if she's getting in that kind of mood
again. Just blame it on the certain week of the month, I guess. Just blame it on that. The Heat. We're gonna talk about it. Russ, the only teams that don't play there is the Union. Interesting. I know everyone pretty much there. And yes, sir, I did eat alligator. See, I wasn't
He
just making
did.
fun of him. Okay.
Wow, I've never eaten alligator, believe it or not. I know I'm down here. I seem like a hillbilly sometimes down here in the Everglades, but I've never eaten alligator or frog legs for that matter.
Yeah, no.
So I'm gonna have to take you up on that offer, Kirk.
He's not inviting you. He's just telling you that he.
Well, I think
don't invite yourself to a meal with somebody.
Kirk would love to have meals with me, as I would love to have meals with him. And I think he's telling me that I should have some alligator.
Kirk's my friend.
He's my friend too.
Alligator tacos. Okay, you sold him on the taco part. Anything taco. This
had me at tacos, Kirk.
Anyways, guys, so as I was trying to say, a lot is going on in sports. We just finished March. Obviously, we're in April. We just finished March Madness. What a crazy ending. Lou's still salty about Arizona getting knocked out by Princeton. That already. It was I'm happy to know that next year another Big East team's going to win the championship, and it's not going to be UConn. It's going to be St. John. So for the next 2 years, this year, next year, 2 Big East teams win the championship.
Sorry, I don't see that happening. I hope, for your sake, but I just don't think Pitino could turn that around so quick.
In the Final Four, we had, I'm very visual. I got hair right now. As I say that. Very visual. On the left side, we had San Diego State, the Aztecs, versus FAU, Owls. On the right side, we had the Canes, Go U, versus UConn Huskies. So, sorry. So there are 4 teams in the Final Four, obviously playing in Houston. Obviously, a week ago when we did the show, we were all hoping that we would get the 2 South Florida teams against each other, the Owls versus the Canes.
We were hoping for an all South Florida final on Monday night.
That would have been crazy. That would have been amazing. And at the end of the day, we would have been okay with just one, but unfortunately, Aztecs took over FAU with a final buzzer beater shot by San Diego to beat FAU, and then the Canes just second half was just dominated by UConn. So we had UConn and San Diego State in the finals Monday night for a way too late game, starting at 9:20. Are you crazy?
Hold on. Hold on before you go there.
Okay.
It always starts that late. They do the Final Four. Look, a lot of teams, unlike a lot of different sports, professional sports, you don't always have West Coast markets in it. In college basketball, not only do you have West Coast schools playing, like a Gonzaga, UCLA, Arizona, you also have the West bracket, the West region. So you're going to have a market in itself that's invested in the tournament. And so they've always started the games later. And the championship Monday has always been a 9:15, 9:20. I'm just saying,
for this girl, that's a little late. Okay.
Well, I have to disagree.
Kirk. FAU should have won that game. They gave it away. It's always Mark said it's a late game, and then Kirk said FAU should have won that game.
Yeah, look.
You know what, man?
Remember,
Big Russian just was not aggressive in the paint.
Yeah, remember sticking on it one more time. The West Coast here, that 9 o'clock game is 6 o'clock time out there, so people are getting out of work. So that's why I want to cater to that audience, no doubt. As far as FAU, total heartbreak. They're winning the game the whole time. They're winning by 15 points. San Diego State, their offense, and it's why the national championship game kind of didn't live up to the billing, is because they're kind of boring. They really didn't have good offensive sets. They were a good defensive team, and to your point, discipline, but they really didn't have the firepower to compete. FAU just let them off the hook and let them get back in that game, and of course they lost on a heartbreaking last-second buzzer beater, and that was always tough to see that to go out that way.
We have the weather update in Philly. Now it's pouring here. Okay, so you could have really squeezed the baseball game in there today.
It was an earlier. It was supposed to be, I think, a 4 o'clock first pitch.
They would. So and baseball's over in an hour and a half these days, so they definitely could have. You could have been Xfinity Live right now, enjoying drinks, watching us. That's unfortunately,
a great point. You would have got her in. But going back to the tournament as well, UConn, just too much for UM to handle. Yeah. Now I will say this, and anybody who watched that game in the room, UM missed I think they kept on showing how many layups they were missing, and it kept on growing. They just missed so many open, easy shots, but they were never really in the game. UConn always had a 10, 12, 15-point lead, and then they maintained that in the second half, and that wasn't just that game. They beat everybody. Their average margin of victory was 22 points, not just double digits, 22 points. They ran through this tournament. UM actually played them the toughest, but they lost. They won every game by 15 or more points and an average of 22 points. UConn totally dominated. What more can you say?
No, that ended up, I mean, it's over. and crazy. I mean, I think some of the obviously, like, just real quick to recap, the Princeton got crazy far. Fairleigh Dickinson University, which none of you guys knew where it was, besides Russ from being in Jersey. No, actually, Kirk did too from being in Jersey. You didn't know where Fairleigh Dickinson was. Another school that went far. Obviously FAU. So just a lot of like cute Cinderella stories, and then heartbreakers like Arizona. And so my lesson learned is that
Arizona wasn't a heartbreaker; it was an upset.
Really? Because you want to know how you act?
Excuse me. It was an upset. It wasn't a heartbreaker. It's the heartbreaker is what happened to FAU, and FAU, in my opinion, would have given UConn more of a game than San Diego State did. But yeah, look, to your point, there's a lot of these Cinderella stories that emerge. You mentioned Fairleigh Dickinson. You mentioned Princeton. Obviously, FAU, the biggest one of all. And that's always going to be the case in the tournament. Now, they did also add this week, or they mentioned this week, that they want to expand the tournament to 96 teams. I think that's way too much. You already have teams getting in there that maybe don't belong. They happen to win their conference tournament, and they get in with a bad record. You're at 68 right now. To expand it to 96, you're going to have a lot more of those teams, and it's going to take away
from. It's not broken. Don't try to fix it. It's not broken. Just know how it is. I love it.
It's not broken. It's perfect as is. Don't mess with it. It's the greatest, in my opinion. I know the Masters is getting started here this week as well, but that's 1 week, Thursday to Sunday. But for a 3-week sample size of a tournament going on, sporting wise, you can't beat March Madness. Everything you want is there. It's awesome.
No, it's perfect. Teaneck, New Jersey, North Jersey. 96, that's too much. I don't like it at 68. 68's healthy because you get knockouts real quick the first day and stuff, but 96 would be way too many.
Yeah, I agree. It's too much.
Talking about too much, Heater up by over 15 points right now. I just saw.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
Second quarter, Heater up by 15. That's why Russ went quiet, because he's already crying, so that'll be good.
Look, the Sixers are stuck at 3. They can't move up or down. So they're really not playing for anything, and the Heat, they need to win, but they also need to beat a good team, and the Sixers are that.
And we can really use Brooklyn losing the next 2. That would be excellent.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. Let's talk about, stick on the Final Four theme here. I did want to get your opinions because, look, we didn't get the South Florida final. We didn't even get one of the teams in the final. But at the end of the day, both teams made it to their first Final Four, and we talked about it last week. The distance between Coral Gables, where UM is at, and FAU at Boca Raton is just 46 miles. And both those respective teams, schools, will be hanging a Final Four banner in their gym. Now, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You kind of do this for a living.
Hold on. Graham, good evening. Good morning.
Hello, Graham.
Probably good morning. Good morning, Graham.
Good morning to you.
Okay.
Good evening here.
Lou has a question. Lou never asks me questions. Always Lou's show. Okay, Lou, hold on.
It's not my show. It's your show.
Lou, okay. What's the question? How can I be assistance? Go for it.
You don't have to turn your side. Okay. And you're not a team.
I know.
I'm not rubbing
you just told me last week. You said from the side, I have a triple chin. So I will make sure I'm.
I did not
You didn't say that?
No, I did not.
Oh
boy. I said double chin.
Excuse me. That's like saying, do you want a double cheeseburger or a triple cheeseburger? After a double, it's all the same.
That's a joke. I would never utter such words.
Kathy in the house as well. Kathy. Hello.
Hi, Kathy.
Okay, so I won't turn my face because I have a double or triple chin.
You can turn wherever you want.
Okay, go ahead. What's the question? Let me try.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, so I did want to ask, because this is what you do. Obviously, there's a tremendous, opportunity now to get. There's already excitement for these teams, and all these tournament games are not played on campus. They're played obviously at neutral sites, right? So, and it looks like UM may only lose one player, a graduating player who was really not one of the top tier players.
One went to the transfer portal.
FAU, okay, but still, they're returning a lot of guys back, and so is FAU. I think they're only losing one senior. So with getting all these guys back and getting these schools and their venues, their arenas, and when I say arenas, I use that term very loosely with FAU. It only fits 3,000 people, but getting the excitement and capitalizing on this run. We talked about in the past, previous shows, how enrollment numbers go up. As the further you go in a tournament, the more money that gets to that school, right?
Money and attention, spotlight. People are Googling where's Fairleigh Dickinson, where's Princeton. There's a lot. There's
who are the people at the school? Is it the president? Who are the people, the team that's going to assemble to capitalize on this run? What are they going to do with that money? Where would that money be allocated to? Just keep the excitement going for these teams that are going to return back next season.
So I think it's a twofold question. I think the first part of the question is, obviously, the more attention a school gets, the more attention the admissions office is going to get. I worked in admissions for 10 years, and admissions is the front line to any college. obviously did the admission process, they get scholarships, grants, and then kind of funnel through the athletics as well. So your first line of defense is your admissions office, and they're going to get a lot of attention. They're going to get a lot of inquiries, a lot of people wanting to visit campus. So they're the first line that's going to get slammed by any type of event, whether it's VCU, FDU, FAU, that's the front. Now, when the money comes into play, that's a whole nother beast. Depending on how large the gift is, if we're talking millions, it's obviously run by the president. And then from there, the development office, then the alumni office, then the boosters and then the athletic office. And then you deal with compliance and legal. If you get a gift, obviously there's going to be a thank you letter. There's going to be a tax purpose letter. So it's not just, okay, a large gift is coming to the school. Someone takes and disperse it. There's a whole team that deals with gifts coming in. Everybody from the president, vice president. If the gift wants to go to a certain college, let's say UM's School of Medicine, then the dean of that school. So it's not just take the check, have dinner with the donor, and that's it. It's a whole process with a lot of people.
I want to stick to specifically with in terms of the basketball team.
Yeah.
How can they capitalize on this run and make sure that those venues are sold out? Because there's obviously a demand now. People are interested. A lot of people want to get there. Me personally, what I would do is the biggest thing that I think people are excited to see next year is that Final Four banner. See that banner go up, because it's such a unique and such an awe moment, the aha moment to see that banner in its place, that people are going to want to see that.
So Iowa State, for example, I just saw before we went live, ESPN broke that they already Iowa. I'm sorry, I don't know. Yes. Iowa State. Iowa girls already have a wait list for their season tickets for next year.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
So it's going to affect everything. It affects season tickets. It's going to affect the admissions office. It's going to affect the marketing.
Marketing is the one that I'm trying to get out of you. So here's what I would do, and I'm not. This is your expertise, but what I would do is the students are the lifeline. They are the blood of the system here.
The ambassadors.
Correct. So I would have anybody who's a student. I would create, first of all, make a kick-ass banner, right? Like make this banner just like a really impressive looking banner, as it should be. Get the students to come in, open up a window, hey, whatever. Students get to see this banner, take selfies with them, all that stuff.
Before the students, you invite the donors. That's how everything
goes. Fine.
So you get the donors first,
and
then the alumni, then the students. Because the donors are the ones that are going to keep the process going.
Okay, so now after that's done, I agree 100%. You nailed it. Donors, boosters, all those guys, there to see that live. After that, if you want to see that banner being unveiled, you got to buy tickets. And not just that game, buy season tickets. It's attached to it. Sports teams, I'm sure Russ can relate, Mark can relate. Whenever your sports team goes on a run, Mark watched those Bills in the 90s. You have a commodity there that's winning. That's when the management capitalizes and says, hey, you want to keep this thing going? You got to lock in for a season or multiple years. So he just tried to do that. So what do you think the plan will be to get people to sell out both those venues and keep this going? It's very impressive.
I mean, the high of them making it to the Final Four, Elite Eight is going to continue at least through next year. By next year, once the tournament starts, it gets forgetting. Just like University of Maryland, UMBC. Was it UMBC that had a run a few years ago? I think it was UMBC. The team, UMBC, who beat it was like a number 16.
But it didn't go to the Final Four.
I know, but what I'm saying is, but people forgot about that school already.
So but that wasn't a Final Four. This is a Final Four. Now's the time to strike and capitalize.
So what I'm saying is that this is only going to last for a year. FAU is only going to get to shine for a year. After this year, it's over. So that's what I'm saying. Just like UMBC, when they beat whatever they beat a number one team.
Okay.
It's over. So they have a year to do this. This is a quick marketing plan to do this with a year. And how do they do it? I mean, it sells itself. The admission numbers go up. The season tickets are going to go up. People are going to want to see the unveiling. They're going to want the merchandise. They're going to want, the athletic program's getting more popular. So, but again, this has to be done quick. Quick. Because after next year, is FAU going to be in the tournament again? Probably not.
No, they will be in a tournament next year.
In the same position? Probably not.
No, probably not. But like you said, that's why you got to capitalize it. And that's why I hope they do that, because they're deserving of that, and they're deserving of the attention that they receive. And hopefully a lot of people will piggyback on that and come out and see them play. And more importantly, again, you get a one time to do it, is unveiling that banner. Both those venues have to be filled. So I hope that's
the case. Will be. But moving forward, the next 2-3 years, Probably not if they don't
Well,
continue this
man,
story.
that's real negative for you to say that. Hopefully they can keep on and keep the spirit going. I do love, and we talked about it last week as well, Dusty May looks like he's...
Right here, UMBC, they beat Virginia. See, I'm not lying about that.
I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm
Oh.
saying that that team didn't go to the Final Four.
Yeah, but
and
still-
he remembers it.
Yeah.
Russ remembers that happened,
Oh.
but that team didn't go to the Final Four. I'm talking about this is a big deal, the Final Four,
Of
and they
course.
got to capitalize on it.
So something that you brought up, let's talk about the first lady inviting the runner-up to the White House. The White House is for winners. You know what second place is. First losers.
Look, don't get me started on that. Russ,
There's two things that Lou does not want to talk about. He doesn't want to talk about beer, aka a certain brand of beer, and he doesn't want to.
whatever.
You're good at that?
No, look, I don't like to talk politics on a show, and I'm not going to. That's sort of my spin-off show coming down the road. But look, I don't like this whole thing about racism being brought into sports. Sports should be a neutral place for us to enjoy, come together. Sports is the ultimate team game where people come together from all walks of life. You have teammates that don't even speak to each other, don't even have to speak the same language.
Yeah.
You know, it happens all the time in baseball. Heck, the best baseball player in the world
Ohtani.
had a translator for the World Baseball Classic. I'm sure, he doesn't speak the same language as his teammates in Anaheim.
Yeah.
But so get all that stuff out of here, At this particular, talking about Iowa and LSU, it looked like, the White House was trying to backpedal to try to, qualm both sides. But it's just competition, heat of the moment. I loved it. I don't care what your
He
race
does that
is.
to me all the time. It's something I'm
Yeah,
used to.
I do it too. Exactly.
I'm like, Luke, can we have a serious talk?
Yeah,
I
for
get
real.
that. I get that all
don't
the
see you.
time.
I don't hear you either. I do this and this, but
I know.
it's
And then I go like that. Then I go like that. So
Yeah.
those are motions that happen all the time. Yeah, that's so bad. We should
and
know
then you
that.
end up like Iowa. You just get a banner, but no ring. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's been a great show. I have a Miami Heat game to win. We're up by a lot. Russ, a small school is hard because the coach will leave for mid-major and then they can't sneak up on teams like that. That's absolutely true. But FAU's coach did ensure us that he will be back next year.
He is committed, and that's another thing that kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How do they compete with the resources? Because when you're playing in a gym of 3,000 people,
Yeah.
you probably don't have the best workout, areas. You don't have the sexy jerseys and all this space,
Money will still
the
flow to
electronics, the
schools, not
scoreboard.
mid-majors.
So how do they, how
Mark's
does,
right. The money will still flow to big
Yeah.
kids. That's not the mid-majors.
credit to Dusty May. What a good coach, has good atmosphere, good demeanor. And I'm glad that he's
I
staying
like
on.
him.
That's big time.
Well,
That's
it's
awesome.
also, and I said this to you many times, it's also Boca Raton. You're not in the
Yeah.
middle of Iowa or
Right,
somewhere
right.
like that. Like you live in
Right.
Boca Raton.
And he
I would
likes-
love to live in Boca Raton.
I'm sure he likes very much where he lives.
Remember, Butler was the team coach left, and now they struggle. Exactly.
Yeah,
Mark,
right,
Princeton is Ivy League. They'll continue to do the same thing and be happy with how far they got. They will not become a powerhouse in basketball.
Right. Now, will they put names on the back of the uniform? Because I saw Princeton did not have
No, they're only
names on the back of the uniform.
George
so,
Mason had a nice run.
yeah.
Yep. One day when I'm the commissioner of all sports, I will change everything. Remember the Buffalo Bulls made some noise in the tournament for a couple of years. The head coach left and the team has not been the same.
Yeah.
Celebrity sighting at the 76ers Heat game. I'm not there. What do you mean not a celebrity sighting? M. Night Shyamalan.
Man, he's got some M. Night Shyamalan. He's got some wild movies, man. Some of these endings in these movies, it's like, what's going on?
They actually invited the runner-up to the White House. Mark, you have not been on social media enough. Oh, that's a huge story.
That is a joke, right? Like, I wouldn't even accept that invitation. And if I'm the first place winner, I'm not going either. If you're going to invite some loser, I'm sorry.
I'm going to say this. Our president is a diehard Eagles fan. You know who ain't going to the White House. That's the result. Everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah, participation trophy. That's great. Not at all.
Let's go, Canes. The beer guy. What's up? What's up? Your buddy, beer
Oh,
guy.
that's my
He's
guy.
there.
Check him
My high
out.
school gym is bigger than some of those universities. Absolutely. No, but shout out to the Canes, man. It was a great run.
Yes.
Made it to the
And-
Final Four.
and
And their
so-
baseball team's doing great.
Yep.
So all together. So
Doug-
you have athletics, they're getting a lot of money.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And Dusty May, like I said, is staying on. He's a young coach. I want to say in his early 40s, maybe even late 30s. He looks
No.
really young.
He's
Yeah, maybe mid 40s then.
He's your age, not my age.
Either way,
yeah.
but then the flip side to that is you got Coach Larry Naniga, for the Canes. He's 73 years old, and he's already vowed that he wants to stay till he's 80 years old.
Yeah.
That's awesome. God bless him. I mean, Patino's up there in the 70s as well, and he's just taking on a monster.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Life's just getting started.
So
They
we'll
didn't.
see.
They didn't. Caitlin said they shouldn't have been offered. Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Caitlin
offer
Clark.
it. First, the White House visit is reserved for champions. You want to get there.
Well,
you
now
better
no
win the
one's
trophy.
going. I think we should go. It's cherry blossom season. LSU don't want to go. Iowa, Caitlin said they shouldn't have been offered, so let's go. And we're inviting everybody else to come with us.
Juwan, the beer guy, he's coming up with a lot of stuff. I saw, and we're going to talk about Tyreek later, but Tyreek's looking for
Oh my
content.
gosh.
Well, we'll talk about it later at the end of the show. We'll wrap that
We're
up.
already halfway over.
But he's, I know Juwan, Tyreek's looking for content creators, man, and there's not better guys out there than you. So hopefully he signs you up soon.
No, let's bring him up. I mean, we have a lot of Dolphin fans in the room right now. We got to bring it up. Tyreek Hill came out today and said, you know what? I'm done in 2025. And I'm thinking, does he realize it's 2023? So this man's saying he's going to be done, not just with the Dolphins. He's throwing his career up in 2 years. You shake your head no.
No way.
Okay, but you know what I mean? The man is an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great clothing line. He does a lot of things. He's creative. I would not be surprised. He's not a Tom Brady where he's going to be like, let me think about it, come back. Like, I truly believe, like, if his mind and heart is set on 2 years, it'll be it. So
I think so. That's your opinion. I think he's just saying that. Look, he's already won a Super Bowl. He's obviously going to want to.
Russ, I'm not putting that comment up.
I'm sure that he's going to want to win another one down here, but he's also a legacy guy, and he's already got amazing numbers. And if he keeps putting these numbers together at this clip, he's going to be in the all-time great conversation. Another thing is, I don't think he could play into his late 30s because his big thing, he's stacked, he's jacked, he's really strong. He's really strong, but he's not super tall. And while he makes his bread and money on, he catches the ball well. But the thing that makes him special is his speed. And
cheetah.
You're not going to be that speed forever. Jerry Rice was able to do it because he was a tremendous route runner. He caught the ball like nobody's business, and he had the size to him. Tyreek doesn't have that. So he's really got to maximize his 30s and to retire at 31 years old when there's so much more football ahead. And to your point, he's an entrepreneur. He's got all these foundations and everything. But what makes those foundations stand up? When you can put the accolades and the trophies and the all-pros, all that behind it. And I think that he would be leaving a lot. The Dolphins, just like they did with Jason Taylor and, a lot of superstars in the past, what they'll do is they'll give him the money and they'll be like, hey, Tyreek, what do you need, baby? You don't need to practice? Don't worry. You only have to show up on game day. Yeah. You're going to do a walkthrough practice. You're always going to be on pads. No one's going to hit you. Do you want a parking spot? Do you want a helicopter to practice? Whatever he wants, they're going to give him because you cannot let a guy like that leave when he's in your grasp. I'm sorry. He's just too valuable.
He's making a statement, generate traffic. It's working because we're all talking about him now.
Absolutely.
Kirk says 3 more years, he will be 31. He'll change his mind later if they are really good. Mark said Jerry Rice was also freak of nature.
He was.
Russell said Jerry Rice was surgical with his running.
The route impeccable. And also his workout routine. This guy would run mountains in the offseason. I mean, this guy was just legendary stuff that he used to do. But again, Jerry Rice, a lot taller gentleman, and also his route running as Marcus.
Tyreek, sure, we met him. I'm 5'6.5", 5'7" on a good day. When we met Tyreek, I'm telling you, I feel like I could have flattened him out. I'm not the biggest girl, I'm not the smallest girl, but I'm like
he's a strong. Tyreek is a strong dude. Strong dude.
So, other news in football, obviously we have the draft coming up. I think we're obviously going to have a whole show about the draft. I think Dolphins should go for a tight end first pick. That's obviously losing Gesicki. That's a big hole that we need to fill. So I think we need to go for a tight end this year.
And while you mention that, and I know some people in the room will be able to point this out as well, there was rumors, and I'm sure you saw it on social media, that Darren Waller, tight end from the Raiders, was maybe linked here in a trade or whatnot. That's crazy to me because he's one of the best tight end, pass-catching tight ends out there. And then also he's a guy that, how do we use him? Because obviously, McDaniels didn't care. He didn't care to use, Gesicki.
Almost a blocker more.
Why would that make sense down here unless he's got something completely different up his sleeve? But people in the room talk to us. Did you guys hear this? That Darren Waller was possibly?
I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, it was. I saw it at multiple.
Mark's
places.
going to Kansas City for the draft.
Nice. That's awesome, Mark.
You know what I'm done with? Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. Yeah, that's like every day. It's just like it's either. There's a quote that says either crap or get off the pot. Like, are you guys? What are we doing? Like, just say it.
They're like holding everybody hostage as to what they're going to do. In Lamar's case, it seems like nobody wants him. It's crazy because he has the free reign to negotiate with teams.
Yeah.
And the Ravens the Ravens, I didn't say raisins this time, they have the right to match
You're
it,
not hungry.
but nobody's taking the bait. So what's up with that? Like, people are scared to give Lamar that money. And Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what his deal is, but he's just a weird dude.
Kirk says we need a tight end or running back. I could see it.
Yeah, agreed.
Barstool Sports, yeah, homeboy came out and used some fighting words. I saw that as well. That got really, really ugly.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson needs an agent.
Yeah, he's doing it all himself. And Mark also mentioned the draft in Kansas City. If he's going out there, I think we should make Mark a reporter, right? What if
He's gonna say everything Bills though.
That's okay.
He's gonna be biased.
Hey, we got to keep up to date with the enemy, right? So, Mark, if you're up for it, we could do a live show. We'll have you on FaceTime or something, or we'll provide you with a, some kind of device. We'll do something out there, but maybe you want to be a reporter on that night, man. Let's see if it's in the cards. Let us know.
So obviously draft coming up. Super excited for that. Dolphins, Hard Rock Stadium for the past few years, they've had an amazing draft party.
We won't be doing it this year. No draft picks. I don't think they're going to be doing it.
No, those.
You think so? I don't think so.
know.
Not with. Remember, that first round takes about 2 hours, 3 hours. So if there's no draft pick, I don't think they're going to have people going out there to watch.
Mark's going to do Zoom.
All right.
Zoom us in.
Okay.
Papa B, check out the tape on Yasser Abdallah. I think we can get him a late steal in the draft.
Okay.
Yasser Abdallah.
I'll tell you, once we start getting closer to the draft, that's all I do. I'm on YouTube and I'm like a scout. I'm looking at all these players, seeing who could fit us, who fits our needs, what can we work with here. So I will look at that name and check out his film.
Heat update 67-44 going into half. Heat are up 67-44. They're up 23 points going into half. We are not playing this playing game, baby. We are going to the playoffs hard. We need Brooklyn to lose the next 2 games. Here's how it really works, right? I'm going to jump into basketball.
Yeah, go do it.
Go
ahead.
I'm not going to have a breakdown about basketball, about the Heat. So Heat right now currently on the 7th spot in Eastern Conference, 7. Not ideally, not where we were last year, not where we want to be this year. Second half, we are not the same team. A lot of issues going on, blah, 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 blah. So right now, the 7th, the first 6 teams are automatic in the playoffs. The 7 is the play-in.
7 through 10.
7 through 10.
Yeah.
So we are right behind Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn, if this is how we take that 6th spot away from Brooklyn, and this is a big if, we have to win the next 2 games.
3.
3.
Last 3.
We got to win tonight. We got to win Friday against Washington. And we got to win Sunday on Easter against the Magic here. 3, and we're in. Only if Brooklyn loses
one of those two.
But
okay, here's where
here comes the meltdown.
I love what you're.
Here we go.
And it's coming, and especially after what I'm going to tell you. I love what you're saying. Don't get me wrong.
We do use StreamYard. Yes.
Yes, we could do that.
Here comes the meltdown.
So I love
Sixers.
I love what you're saying. However, I will say this: the Sixers actually control the destiny here because the Nets that you just mentioned need to lose their last 2. They are playing the Magic as well. They're going to win. The Magic are horrible. And then even if they beat the Magic, their last game is against the Sixers. Who do you think the Sixers want to play? Do you think they want to play?
They want to play us.
They don't want to play us. We beat them in the playoffs last year.
They want revenge.
No, they want to play the Nets, who are a very young, unexperienced team. They don't want to play the Heat. So if anything, the Sixers will personally beat the Nets to avoid playing the Heat. Now, you're asking me who I want? I would love to move up to 6 and meet those Sixers.
And be secured into the playoffs.
No offense, Russ, but we have your number. The Sixers,
Kirk's also a fan too.
The Sixers have not proven that they could put together a playoff run. They can't get out of the second round. They already lost to us last year. Jimmy Butler is an Embiid's head, and so I want to play the Sixers, but I just don't see it happening. I'm sorry. I don't see it happening.
Yeah. Anyways, so most likely what's going to happen is we are going to play the playing game on Tuesday. It's looking like we will play the Hawks at home. We would be there.
Yes. So
nobody talk to us on Tuesday because we'll be so game mode.
The Heat's magic number, and I hate to use a magic number for the playing around, but the Heat's magic number is 2. Any combinations of a Heat win plus a Hawks loss clinches the 7th seed for the moment for the Heat, and that means a Tuesday playoff game against the Hawks most likely. And then the way the play-in tournament works is it's 7 versus 8.
Yeah.
The winner of that game is the 7th seed.
Hey, this is serious right now. I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
The loser plays the winner of the 9-10 game.
Yeah.
So if you look at it that way,
Raptors, don't sleep on the Raptors. There's another one in the mix.
No doubt. And
there's a lot of problems.
I'd be worried. Because the Heat have struggled against the Raptors.
They sure
And the
have.
Hawks are a team with a star
player. They got
player.
Rat. Yeah, Rat's good.
Ratatouille. Trey.
I call Trae Young Ratatouille. And that's only because I want him on my team.
It's his hair, man. His hair looks all messy.
You want to show me what your hair really looks like? Okay.
I don't want to do that.
I'm so glad Beer Guy brought it up. The Panthers as well, another team playing now. I don't know what the scores. It was 2-0 before we went live on the show.
It was 2-0 at the intermission against the Ottawa Senators. And let's talk about the Panthers. So right now.
So the Panthers, really quick, before you give them the whole diagnosis.
You told them. I'm telling you.
Panthers are fighting for their playoff spot as well. Panthers need to, if they want to just go in kind of like the Heat, this is like the password. This is like the side door. I shouldn't say side door because on Netflix, I just finished College Admissions, the scandal. And the side door is how all the people, they didn't go through the back door. They didn't go through the front door. It's side door.
I've never heard of that. Side door?
Side door is a very bad term to use. Anybody who's seen it knows what I'm talking about. So the side door for the Panthers to get into the playoffs.
Russ is going to come up with some kind of a pun here with a
side
door. Not a side door. He's going to use a different door.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Okay, so for the Florida Panthers to actually go into the side door to make the playoffs, they need to go 3-0-1 with their next games. And they're in. No questions asked. I don't care who, blah, 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 does what. 3-0-1, and they are in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, specifically, right now they're playing the Ottawa Senators. They were up. If somebody could give us a score update, that'd be great. They were up 2-0.
We control our own destiny.
Yes. We were up 2-0 at the intermission. Hopefully, we're taking care of those Senators. And then you got the Capitals tomorrow. They are not a good team, so they have to win these next two because those two teams are out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Russ makes a point. Magic number in basketball is easy to explain. Magic number in baseball, you have to be a rocket science.
Oh, seriously.
Kirk, Ashley used to be a Devils fan. Ashley was a Devils fan. Ashley was a huge Devils fan. Ashley actually went to the Stanley Cup in 2010 against the Kings. I was there.
Nice.
I loved Brodeur. Brodeur is my guy. Like, that was like my guy.
Where do the Devils play?
Prudential Center.
The Prudential Center.
Yeah,
okay.
They used to play at the Continental Arena.
Right, which was next to MetLife.
Yeah,
right?
where the Nets also played.
Okay.
And so they moved to Prudential, which we passed. You passed it a few weeks ago.
That's right. We did. Yeah.
So Mark, wish you had everything cheer about hockey. You could be a Panthers fan. We'll take you. Russ knows me too well. Yep, it's coming. Can I go through the side door at UM to get into college? We get you in there. Don't worry. And hey, beer, and then switch it over. Panthers are up. We got a score update. Panthers up 4-1 in the second.
Nice.
So that's
all
excellent.
Right. That's good. That's good news.
How about 4-1 second period? Yep, we got two updates.
That's a palm tree and a hockey stick, baby. Don't tell me I'm not repping our South Florida teams.
Mark would look so nice in that. We got to turn Mark. So would Kirk too, but Kirk's really Devil. And I don't hate the Devils. I really don't. I just, when I came down here, I don't know, Panthers took me over, but I don't hate them. So yeah, so the hockey. And the one thing I really did want to talk about tonight that some of you guys love, some of you hate, is baseball. We are exactly 1 week from.
Well, okay, hold on. Before we do that, can we talk about one more thing? So big deal.
I get nervous when he says this.
I know. No, so
we're not talking about golf. No,
but NBA. Obviously, we were on that topic, and I do want to mention that this past Saturday, the NBA and its players agreed to the CBA, so they resolved
collective bargaining agreement.
Correct.
I learned that in college.
That's what that means. That's CBA. It's not a different league or it's a
Who
CBA.
knows these days?
But so yeah, they came together on that, and the CBA now is it's all good, right? And it's good through 2029. So you would think that this is very healthy, and it is to an extent. Some good things came out of it. I like the fact that you have to play 65 games in order to now be eligible for a award. I know Russ is going to say something else about load management, but that's not the load management I'm talking about.
Why are you guys being so dirty tonight?
Sorry,
because we're still in Lent season. We had a priest on our show last week.
All right. Well, I'm talking about players, not the other load management. But
I'm trying to get to the Marlins. I'm trying to get there.
I know.
He's holding me back. I got a lot to say.
So look, the load management issue is a problem. All these stars, we see it all the time. We're season ticket holders to the Heat. Sometimes these teams come back to back, and we don't see the star. We miss Giannis both times.
Don't remind me.
Down here.
Giannis, you guys don't know, is my favorite non-Heat player.
Right. So
Giannis, if you're here.
I love the fact that they're making these players play 65 games or more in order to kind of, give some power back to the fans and being able to see these players. And also, a lot of these players have incentive deals in their contracts where if they win an MVP or they win. So basically, the league's saying if you want to have a chance to win an award, you have to play 65 games minimum. I love that. Love it. Here for it all day. Great job, NBA and CBA, for putting that together. Now,
I'm sorry. I need to talk baseball. I need to talk baseball. I need to talk baseball.
Now,
Hurry up. I need to talk
the
baseball.
bat. If you guys have heard this before, the NBA wants to do an in-season tournament for some trophy that's going to be handed out in December.
I don't like it. Football.
Horrible.
I'm too busy with football season in December.
Yeah.
I can't worry about that. Okay. I don't like it. So basically, to wrap up what Lou just said, the NBA wants to say, okay, pretty much in December, they want to look at the teams where they're at and have like a little tournament and kind of be like, okay, you're the winner of the December tournament. I don't want that to happen. December, I am strictly focused on Dolphin football, heavily, playoff hopes, this, that, traveling a little bit here and there. I don't want to worry about basketball.
What if players get hurt? I mean,
don't like it.
Nothing good could come out of that, my opinion.
Big series against. Okay, I'm coming to that. Wait, what? I saw that. Who do you feel wins NBA MVP? Jimmy Butler. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
It's
joking.
going to be Joel Embiid. It's going to be Joel Embiid. I mean, he's had a chance to win the last couple of years. It should be him.
I think there should be minimum games played certain dates to be elected to the All-Star game.
Yeah,
interesting. That's a good. Well, when you're commissioner, which you're going to be commissioner or president, that's coming. Joker is nice with the 76 strong, the same team without Joel. Joker's a good one as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's won the last 2 years, so it's Embiid's turn.
All right. Can I switch gears?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm like so into baseball. I mean, I'm always into baseball. Baseball was the second sport I fell in love with after basketball, but it was right there. And it was obviously the Yankees. We know that story. We're not going to bring up Chuck Knobloch every episode. Okay. So opening day, Marlins. Obviously, our last show, we came right from the game. Marlins lost opening day. We had a great time, though. We talked about the ins and outs, everything. We ended up going the next day to the Friday game. It was Teal Fridays.
It's Flashback Fridays.
Flashback Fridays, Teal Fridays.
Teal. Yep.
So, excuse me. You wore your throwback Marlins
That's
shirt.
right.
I wore throwback Marlins shirt. They're still playing the Mets series. It was a Friday. Completely different crowd than it was opening day. It was probably like 20% of what the crowd was. Roof was open.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful night. Beautiful night. Long story short, Marlins won, and it was great.
Yes.
Flash forward, we end up
we lost three out of four in the Mets. Yeah, 3.
Twins going to town. Exciting with this series because Pablo Lopez, who I'm still salty about that got traded to the Twins, comes to town.
Awesome dude.
Really awesome, really. A lot of players. Great pitcher. We saw him in spring training this year.
Yep.
Really good friends with Sandy and everything. Sandy goes and pitches against the Twins, and the game before that, Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto. Wait. Johnny Cueto goes and starts the game. Johnny Cueto's in his late 30s. Johnny Cueto goes first inning, gets blown up, and gets taken out.
He's hurt.
But if you were hurt, if you were not ready to start that game, why didn't you disclose that to us? Okay, so let's not go there.
He got hurt during the game.
No, I disagree. He went into that game hurt. So then what happened was we just called down this player from Jacksonville hours before saying, hey, listen, we're going to have you come down. You're not going to pitch, but we're going to have you come down. Sure enough, Cueto gets out. Second inning, this kid goes, and he didn't do terrible. Had his family in, but Cueto's gone. We don't even know when he's coming back at this point.
I'll tell you what I think happened to Cueto. Look, he's a veteran pitcher, and the reality is that back, a couple of years ago, pitchers would you go 5, 6, 7 innings to build up for opening day and the regular season. Now their arms are being protected, especially Cueto, who pitched in the WBC.
He did.
He did not get a full spring training, and he only pitched 2 or 3 innings every outing. So to expect him to go out there and start throwing heat from the beginning was a mistake.
I was just nominated as a Sandy Alcantara fan club president. I was just nominated for that.
You are that.
I am going to rock my throwback baby blues tomorrow.
Love those.
Got to see it.
Absolutely love those.
Twins were 4-0, so that's a very good point. They came into Miami being 4-0, and then now they left being 6. No, they lost 2. So
the Marlins are 3-4 right now.
No, what are the Twins?
The Twins
are 5-4-2. No, it wasn't a 2-game series.
It was a 3-game series. They were 4-0.
You're right.
They lost 2.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of the Twins, and I know the beer guy.
He should retire. I agree. I don't know. Retire.
No. He's still got some kind of he pitched for the Giants. You should know.
That's how he knows him.
Listen, the Twins uniforms. I'm a uniform guy. I like to see the traditional old school uniforms. I know Kirk's in the room. He's a big Red Sox guy. those are iconic uniforms. And the Twins had some really cool.
I gotta go back to the
uniforms.
Marlins. Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't like the
So so Sandy goes and pitches a complete game, which I'm so glad that Mel Stoudemire did not pull him out, because I'm telling you right now, and I said this before.
It's not his call. It's Skip Schumacher's call.
Okay, but Mel kind of yaps into Skip and kind of like gives him some looks to say like.
Skip has the final call.
I know, but Mel could influence that a little bit. So Sandy was going to the eighth. And I knew Mel was up to no good. I knew he was up to no good. And I told Lou, I said, Lou, if Mel pulls Sandy from this game, Sandy's going to go in that dugout and go, hoo. The water, everything was not going to be safe. So ninth inning comes, top of the ninth, and Sandy gives up a base run for a leadoff batter. And Mel goes and gets somebody warming up. I think it was Puck.
Right.
Our new closer, Puck.
AJ Puck
from the A's, warming him up. I'm saying, my goodness, please just finish it. And so Sandy actually has the first complete game
of the majors.
Of major
anybody. I don't
Perfect.
know.
So
I don't think there was one today.
No.
So he's so far got the
Sandy
only
has
one.
that.
And it was a shutout too. It was a complete game shutout.
So then the next day, Jesus Luzardo, who Jesus is with us for the next few years, South Florida native, pitched a great game as well.
Yeah.
So I'm very hopeful for the Marlins. Okay, let me finish this because I got a lot to say about this. I'm very hopeful with the Marlins pitching with obviously Sandy, with Jesus, with Trevor. So my concern is if homeboy Cueto is not coming back. Okay. And then Braxton might be used as a starter.
Right.
Okay, because Braxton could be the fourth starter. But here's the thing. Puck, and I wasn't set on Puck at the beginning, because I didn't know him like that, right? I have to just hear me out.
We're talking about starters right now.
Okay, and I'm telling you why.
Okay,
Let me finish this. Puck, if he stayed with the A's, was projected to be a starter. Okay?
That's not going to be his role here, though.
Okay, and I don't want it to be his role.
Okay.
I don't want it to be his role.
Okay.
But against the Mets series, we had our catcher pitch ninth inning.
Because they were down 10 runs.
Exactly. So there was speculation that if our pitch and rotation gets really dried, would it be a scenario where we were to move Puck? Who's
No.
Don't kill the messenger. I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to
I'm telling
happen.
you, don't do that. You got your closer for a reason.
Okay, and I like him. And
he hasn't been stretched out. Look,
right?
Here's the issue. You
Okay.
brought up a couple names here, right?
Yeah.
They look real good with Sandy and Luzardo. Those two guys right now are good out the gate, and they have a lot of potential. The problem is Trevor.
Yes, I saw the home run chain. It looks amazing.
The problem here is that Trevor Rogers, who had a good rookie season, regressed last year, and his first start this year didn't go too well. Edward Cabrera, same thing. Edward Cabrera had a nice year last year, but he had a bad start. His first one, he walked a lot of guys, and he's an unproven guy. Cueto, Mark just told you his best days are behind him, and he's a guy that you brought him in to be a fourth or fifth starter as a veteran presence, but he's looked bad. And the bigger concern is, and I appreciate you bringing up the arms. It's you want them to ideally.
Let me finish your sentence here. It's the bats, because at the end of the day, they're not putting runs on the board.
They're not scoring enough. They brought in a batting champion. Yeah. That's fine. He could
5-1 Panthers.
He could get on. Awesome. Go Panthers, go. He could get on base. I'm talking about Luis Arraez, the batting champion last year with those Twins that we traded for Pablo Lopez, as you mentioned. But he can get on base, but you still need people to drive him in. Great to see Soler have a big game yesterday.
Avisail Garcia has been okay.
Garcia had a home run. No, he hasn't been okay. He had a big home run that won that game that Sandy pitched in. But the bats got to wake up. You got to have guys bring people in.
So
one more thing.
Sixto Sanchez. We spoke to the president. She said that between us.
Well, don't. She said that, she told us, we asked about him. She said that he's, coming back. He's coming off an injury, and they didn't know if he was going to be a bullpen guy or a starter.
We don't know
That's
about him.
a problem. Max Meyer, we also lost to a Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Last year, that was another guy that was pegged to be an ace, a future ace of the franchise. So, we have to get these arms back up and
so I got to finish it. Sixto was our guy. Yeah, no, Sixto came with you guys. So it's a problem.
Sixto was traded for JT Realmuto, who's been a tremendous.
How'd you say
JT Realmuto.
Realmuto.
Yeah, he's been a tremendous asset for the Phillies. One of the best catchers in the game. So we thought that we were getting something, back in exchange good for him, but he's been damaged goods. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy.
So, okay. So the issue.
Well, I'm sorry. One more thing. It's
I
not
guess we're
just,
saying with the Marlins.
we are. It's not just the bats, though. How about the fact that stolen bases has been up all across baseball, right? The Marlins only have 2 steals. You got guys like Jazz. I know he got hurt actually trying to get a steal
Go to
the other
second,
day.
yeah.
You got John Birdie. You got Gene Segura from the Phillies. Russ knows about him. We mentioned Birdie. You got Segura. Soler has, some speed on him.
Brian De La Cruz. He's fast. He's skinny.
I wish Skip Schumacher, I know it's his first year managing, but he's got to be aggressive. Take advantage of the fact that everybody is stealing bases. I don't want to use the analogy I'm about to, but I'm going to say it. If you're in a store and everybody's looting.
No, stop it. Don't say that. We don't say that kind of things. No.
I mean, if you're in a store and
no,
everybody's
you
looting.
have morals. You have morals.
I get it, but if everybody's taking a TV, go ahead and grab it.
If everyone's jumping off the bridge, jump off the bridge. No, don't say like that.
It was a bad analogy, but my point is because it's looting and stealing, right? Don't loot, but definitely steal. And when I mean steal, I mean bases.
Especially lost Brian Anderson. He is balling out.
Steal bases.
Brian Anderson's another one.
Send them. Skip Schumacher. They get on base.
Don't forget, we had John Carlos Stanton at one point of our lives too. We know how that turned out.
Yeah.
Of course, stealing is up. They got pizza boxes out there.
They're huge, those bases.
He did. That took me a second to realize that. They got pizza boxes out there, meaning the bases are like pizza boxes.
They're huge, those bases. Huge.
He did, bro. Led us to that win over the Cup in the cover year. Kirk.
He did. He only pitched like a limited. He was a September call-up, I believe.
Yeah.
And he came, and I think he went 4-2. He looked good. He was as advertised. He didn't go deep in the games. I think he was going 5-6 innings, and he did. He won us a playoff game in COVID year. But then ever since that, where's this guy been? We traded an all-star catcher for him. Yeah. And he's won, I think, 4 games total for us.
Kirk, because the time clock and throwover rules, stolen bases are going to be way up. And I'll tell you something else that you guys don't. Oh my God! I'm sorry. Quarter mile. Max Struess is running off the court.
Uh-oh.
He just got his hand whacked. Bad injury on Max Struess. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Another thing that so the 3 new rules in baseball. Obviously, we have the pitch clock, we have the bigger bases, and we have the ghost runner. So the games, we've gone to 2 games live. We went to the first 2 games of the Marlins series Thursday and Friday. Those games truly fly by. Like, it is a whole new thing. The problem is if you go and get a beer at a concession stand, now it's just not at Lone Depot Park, concession stands all over, they're always long lines. It's just the thing.
Crazy.
You go wait in the line, you're missing 3 innings of a ball game. So a lot of people, what I'm reading, are like not going to concessions anymore because they don't want to miss that much of a baseball game.
Yeah,
so concessions are like dropping a little bit already. Fun fact. You heard it here first. Pizza boxes. Don't loot, pollute instead.
Yes.
He did that, bro, against the Twins.
Well, look, Kirk mentioned, and you said that we were at games as well. So the one of the rules is you cannot throw over more than 2 times. On the second throw, they're calling it disengagement. Excuse me. On the second disengagement, the pitcher cannot throw over again. So we personally witnessed this. Starlin Marte of the Mets, after that second disengagement, that throw, I've never seen a bigger lead in my life. He was halfway to second base, and he had that base stolen easily because once you throw over that the 2 times, the runner knows you can't throw over anymore. So it's mind-boggling to me how they can. That's such a competitive imbalance there. That
Russ says Senators 4, Panthers 5. I think that's the wrong score. There's no way that they just scored 3 goals within like.
Don't
2
tell
minutes.
me that.
Russ, double check that. So Luke, aka Keg, that's your new nickname.
That's my new name.
And strap it on his back.
Oh boy.
Maybe they will lower the food prices. Someone said beer. Buy from the beer guys.
The beer guy.
Beer guy. The voice in Captain Planet is insane. So back to the Marlins. It's my little rant right now, but. No, I'm excited still. I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid. I still think we're okay. Pitching, we just got to figure that out. And the runs are the issue, right? The bats are a problem.
Wake those bats up.
We do got to wake those bats.
You finally saw. I know Russell appreciate this. You finally saw Major League. Tremendous movie. So it's like that classic line where they start a holy war, and Harris comes over to Serrano and says, Jesus,
I remember that part.
He's real good, but he no help with the curveball. And then Harris says, are you trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
We're on Holy Week.
Amazing. That is a classic line. And then, of course, when everybody goes out to the field for batting practice, Harris sneaks in and sees the rum. after Jabu says it's very bad to take Jabu's right.
Russ is like in this.
Very
Russ,
bad.
Russ loves his movie.
And Harris goes,
his movie.
up your butt, Jobu, and he drinks that rum. And what happens? He gets whacked by a bat right after he walks out there. So
love that movie. No, that's a great movie.
classic. Wake those bats
I
up.
saw it for the first time last week. It was excellent.
Classic.
Excellent.
Wake those bats up. We might need to make a little voodoo doll.
No,
we're
Catholics. We are Catholics.
No, but
We went to Palm Sunday. We're Catholic.
put all that aside. Put a little voodoo doll in the Marlins dugout.
Stop it.
You know, put a little cigar. Cuban cigars all around here, right? Put a cigar in his mouth. Let's wake those bats up, baby.
I can wake those guys up. I'm just kidding. I didn't mean it like that. Nasty. Ladarius Brown in the house. Love joining us on Classic Lines. F you, Jabu, I do myself. So no, with the Marlins, no, Sandy, first game, Sandy obviously opening day, didn't go as we wanted to, but Sandy's back. Sandy's fine. Jesus Luzardo, I'm excited to see what he has. He's going to be here for the long run from Coral Springs. There's a local guy. And then I mentioned Puck. Yeah, no, I don't want him to be a starter. He's an excellent closer. I really like him. He's grown on me already. I think he's great. One that I do have an issue with is I almost said Hanley Ramirez. Oh my goodness, Ash! Just because the throwbacks,
bring him back. We could use
just
him.
because the throwbacks were like worn this week. My head's on like Hanley. Jazz Chisholm Jr. has been moved to center field, and he does not look comfortable there whatsoever. He's struggling out there, and then obviously he stole second, messed up his arm, his shoulder.
It's a day off today, so hopefully he's back in the lineup tomorrow night. That'd be good to see.
Yeah, so we were supposed to play the Mets today. It was the Mets City Field Open and home opener. They canceled the game yesterday with this system coming in. I'm disappointed to let you know that it hasn't rained at all in Queens. So maybe the Mets just need an extra day off, but that game will be a doubleheader tomorrow. And no, it would have been great to have the Marlins play because we won 2 straight and would have been continue with that mojo.
That's right. And I do want to share a funny story. So after we saw the second game on the Marlins schedule so far, a win when they were wearing their throwback uniforms, as we mentioned. They beat the Mets in that game. It was a close game. They won, I think, 3-1. So at the end of the game, we go out, and by the parking garage, there's a guy, awesome guy, always playing. He's on a trumpet, and he's always playing, take me out to the ball game or whatever. So I thought, what a great, opportunity. I was going to do it, and you told me not to do it. I was going to put out a $5 bill and say, hey, could you guys play? Could you play Timmy the Trumpet, the Mets closer theme? And you said, no, that's kind of mean. I thought it was a great opportunity. They would have played that and the Mets closer is out. They wouldn't appreciate that.
That's not a funny mention, Lou.
Oh, I thought it was funny.
Okay, if something happens, which Quaid already went down, Jazz Chisholm's down. Okay, I think your bad thinking already starting to hurt us.
All right, well, it would have been good to mess with.
It is raining now in Queens. Okay, well that game was supposed to happen like 9 hours ago, and they would have been fine. The Mets just didn't want to take an L, which is fine. So Marlins they'll be in Queens this weekend. And no,
right.
I'm excited to see. But no, the big thing obviously we're focusing on Miami Heat basketball and Florida Panthers hockey. Those are the big 2 things because both teams are hanging by their fill in the blank, whatever you want to call it, to get into the playoffs. Obviously, this was not the situation last year. Both teams were comfortably going into postseason, and this year it's just different. So, what are you doing? He's up to no good. Go ahead. What are you up to no good?
Go ahead. Finish up the show.
No, that's it. Heat currently are up 74-59 with 76-59 with 7 minutes left in the third. Obviously, it would be perfect to win this game and continue to see what we do.
I did want to mention, so the Masters obviously got underway today. And last week, and some of you in the room helped me out here, was WrestleMania. I'm not a big wrestling fan as I used to be, but can you guys agree with me on that? I mean, I used to remember as a kid and even as an adult, Saturday night's main event. Also, the characters in wrestling. You've had Macho Man on your show once before.
Yep.
Hulk Hogan, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I showed her a documentary on Jake the Snake Roberts, where his gimmick was he put you to sleep with a DDT and then throw the snake on top of you. You had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
So in the chat, drop your all-time favorite wrestlers in the chat.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, with a 2x4 I mean, back then, Coco Beware, the Junkyard Dog, some of these guys, the characters in wrestling, in my opinion, were way better back then. That's
That's my
guys
boy.
on the road, help me out. I mean,
I've known him and his dad since I was a kid. Okay, so as we close up the show, drop your all-time favorite wrestler.
drop your favorite wrestler.
I was an NWA fan, all about Ric Flair.
Okay.
Sunday
Woo!
night main event instead of
Can you
Sunday
give
Night
me a
Live.
woo?
Mark just did.
There it
Woo!
is.
Ultimate. I don't know what just happened. Those woos just like kicked us out of the chat. Crazy.
Yes.
Ultimate Warrior.
Superfly. Oh man, the Ultimate Warrior. Are you
Wait,
familiar with him?
Hold on.
The
Jimmy
Ultimate Warrior.
Superfly,
Snuka. Jimmy Superfly. Snuka. This guy would fly off the
Randy
rim.
Macho Man Savage.
Tito
Kirk
Santana.
says, Rowdy
Piper.
Just when you think they know the answer, I changed the question.
Yes.
Graham, there he is. I've always been a big Bret Hart fan. Can I share who mine is?
The Hart Foundation, baby. They're awesome.
Maybe that was a trademark violation.
I guess we're not supposed to drop wrestling names, I guess. Or maybe Ric Flair just has the woo.
Okay, so
Copyrighted.
obviously I'm more of a late 90s wrestler follower, WWE, WWF. I was a big wrestler fan, and I went to WrestleMania probably in 2000.
Did you?
I did in Dallas.
Oh, wow.
I did. I flew to
Okay.
Dallas and I saw WrestleMania at Jerry Jones's house. It was great. It was really good. I had really good seats.
I went to the WrestleMania here.
Wait,
but
they're
it
waiting to hear who my favorite wrestler of all time.
Sorry.
Hold on. As far as wrestling, AEW is the king right now.
Really?
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter.
WWF had a Saturday
Dusty
morning
Rhodes.
cartoon. Captain Lou.
Yes.
Albino.
Albano.
I don't know any of these people.
Bobby the Brain. So they also had, in addition to the great wrestlers, they also used to have great managers. So Captain Lou Albano was one. Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South.
George the Animal
Ted,
Steel ate the turnbuckles.
That's right. He did. He would eat the turnbuckles.
Oh, I'm so disconnected
Crazy.
from all this.
Oh, you missed it. You got to do it. There's got to be a documentary on all these great wrestling characters back in
Oh
the
my
day.
gosh, look at this. Graham was at Graham, I can't even say it, was so cool.
Whoa.
Graham was at SummerSlam 92 when it was at Wembley Stadium.
Wow. Oh, man, I'm jealous.
My nephew just heard you. Woo!
Woo!
We're gonna kick us out again. He turned 2 today. Oh, happy birthday,
happy
baby.
Nice.
Sergeant Slaughter, official member of the G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Best manager,
Jim Cornette, yes.
Okay. Manager, Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer. This is got the Undertaker.
Everyone is waiting to hear who my favorite
All right,
wrestlers
who's
are.
yours? Go.
So yes, I went to WrestleMania. I don't know what year it was. It was somewhere between 14 and 17. 2014, 17. I don't remember. That part of my life is like a blur. Went to Dallas and saw WrestleMania in Dallas. So my favorite wrestlers before that. I was a huge Matt Hardy fan. I love Matt Hardy.
Boys. The Hardy Boys, right?
Yes, Matt and Jeff. Okay, don't make fun of me. I'm aging myself right now. So huge Hardy fan.
Look like you're doing a Wonder Woman thing. What is it, the Wonder Woman?
No,
thing?
that's what the Hardy brothers did. Guys, please let him know. Please let my let my grandfather know here what this means. I also was a huge. I'm gonna do this to you later.
Oh boy.
I'm not gonna people's elbow. You really want to?
People's elbow. I know that one. Yeah.
No, The Rock is not it though.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it.
Stone Cold.
No, keep going. I'm gonna do a move to you later. We have to guess the wrestler.
All right. I guess we'll give you the progress of what happened.
No.
She's gonna try to put a move on me.
Lou's gonna get pink eye.
Oh boy.
Rikishi.
Oh,
Rikishi was like one of my favorite wrestlers.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Rikishi?
No.
Oh my gosh, Rikishi was like a sumo wrestler, and what he would do is he would come and he would sit on these people's faces because he was like 600 pounds, and he would smush them with his fat.
Oh, okay.
So Rikishi.
Wow.
So I was a huge Matt Hardy fan, and I was a huge Rikishi fan.
Nice.
Obviously John Cena, because who doesn't like John Cena?
The Junkyard Dog.
We had a lot of names here.
Also, didn't mention Andre the Giant. I mean, that guy's
Jimmy
legendary.
Hart. No, he just did. Kirk just said that.
Okay. Yes.
Junkyard Dog. The comic book style characters and managers aren't really doable this age of social media. Wrestlers being built normal selves and characters too.
Well, and that's another point.
What do you mean Rikishi sucked? No, he did not.
Well, look, that's another good point. Could you imagine?
Bob
Hold on.
Backlund.
Could you listen to this, guy?
I guess the show has
Could-
changed to
could-
WWE.
Could you imagine if Hulk Hogan was around during social media? He might have the most followers in the history, or Ric Flair. Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair back in their prime with social media on Twitter or whatnot,
Yeah.
they would have.
Did you guys hear
a
about the
billion
fan that
followers.
got kicked out of WrestleMania this year for dressing as a wrestler? Never
I've
showed
not
you
seen
stuff.
that.
I'll tell you one thing. My doppelganger, who people say I look like besides Jennifer Lopez. I'm just kidding. People tell me I look like Brooke Hogan. I get that.
I've heard that. Yeah, and I can see
You heard what?
I've heard people say that.
That your girlfriend looks like Brooke Hogan?
Yeah.
You
And
never told me that.
Yeah, I've heard it, and I can see it. You could pass for, you could.
You never said me that.
I've heard it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
So people tell me I do look like Brooke Hogan. So
Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
and we've been to Hogan's
great.
Stores before. They used to have a really good restaurant. In
Yeah,
Tampa.
so if you're ever
Kurt
down,
Angle, yes, Kurt Angle. I
Kurt
remember
Angle's
Kurt Angle.
great. If you're ever down in the Tampa area, and actually Orlando as well, and
The
Kirk would know
store.
this too. They have a store on International Drive in Orlando. The Hulk Hogan has a store also in Clearwater, Florida, in Tampa, Florida, and he's got one other one somewhere
And
else.
the
But
restaurant. We went to
it's
the
great.
restaurant. Remember we went to the restaurant?
the restaurant as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great setup.
The restaurant, a really cool bar.
A bunch of awesome memorabilia there, and they sell a bunch of the stuff. The action figures, pretty awesome.
So, all right. But yes, Rakishi. So when Lou does a Facebook status tomorrow that he has pink eye, just know I Rakishi'd him.
Oh no!
Anyways, I got a Heat game to watch. I mean,
Let's do it.
We're up by like 15 points. My favorite player, Strus, is in the locker room. That's not good.
Yeah.
And so Rakishi is Roman Reigns' cousin
Oh, all right.
and dad of the Usos. Yes, the Uso brothers. You don't know the Uso brothers.
No, I don't. Sorry.
Don't forget the Japanese wrestlers. Oh man, we really hit like a key with these people.
We might have to do a wrestling spinoff show. I mean, there's a lot of talk here, so it's awesome.
All right, guys.
But no, look, next week also, a lot of our Dolphin fans are on Dolphin friends, I should say, are on this Dolphin fan cruise.
I've heard mixed things about it.
Well, whatever. Maybe we can get some of them to chime in next week.
Sandy, we
There's
did that.
definitely been a lot of cool pictures. Now, I don't know how the conversations went. I mean, I don't know if people were going into this thinking that they're going to like hang out with Dan Marino in a hot tub, which I would have hopped into a cruise if that was the case. But, listen, we'll get the.
I could have gotten in, even not you.
Well, whatever.
Joe Rose is there. He would have invited me.
But, we can have them on next week and get their opinions on how that cruise went.
Yeah,
Cool.
I heard mixed things about it. I mean, the weather's been excellent. I just heard it was very unorganized and stuff. But Richmond Webb's having a blast. Some of the pictures,
That's awesome.
no, it looks great. Jason Sarni's doing a great job showcasing the trip. So that's a great idea.
Nice.
But next week we may be very occupied with Team Heat play basketball, so we kind of got to see how that goes.
We'll see how the week goes.
What else is going on next week?
No, it's
Easter's this week. It's already Easter in UK, so happy Easter. Happy Easter. It's already there. So
all right, well, listen, let's wrap it up. Wishing you guys a great rest of the week. It's almost over, so if you're not having a good week, there's only one more day left, and then the weekend starts. So hope you guys have a good rest of the week. And
he's up to no good. His fingers are like tweaking over. So do what you got to do.
So yeah, no, just anything else you got to say?
No.
All right, well, since you didn't let me play Timmy the Trumpet at the game, we're gonna go out with a little Timmy the Trumpet here. Here we go. I can get to it. There it is. Screw you, Mets.
Your language has been atrocious tonight. Just rubbing up in. Night, guys. Go Heat, go Panthers.
All right. Let's go. Come on, Ray. Get off the Hardy Boys. How do the Hardy Boys do that?
Go to the Rakishi? No.
All right, I'm out of here on that.